Hey, Chris. I don't know how well this thing is picking me up. But if it's picking me up good, it won't stay in place. That's one problem. Morning. As I was saying, I don't know how well it's picking me up, and it won't stay in place. I went by the bike shop yesterday, and they don't have a mount for this in stock, so I got one from Walmart, but getting a better mount at some point once it comes in. Anyway, so for my first ride with this, I thought I'd take you on my favorite route. We call it Golf because there's a hill with a water tower that looks like a golf ball on a tee. So we call it Golf. That hill's called Golf Ball Hill. But it's about a dozen or so hills that are average about 10%. And you can get about, if you don't repeat, depending on how you choose the route, you can get about 100 feet per mile, which is not normal here in Tulsa. If you don't, the most I've done without repeats, other than here on this particular route, is around 67 feet per mile, maybe 75. But on this route, I've even gotten up to almost 200 feet per mile by repeating each hill about 3 times. But I thought for the inaugural ride, taking you on my favorite route would be pretty cool. Of course, I'm a bit heavy and don't go up the hills as fast as a lot of other people. Although I feel like I'm fast enough if you can take my weight in consideration. And I probably won't do the full route because in about an hour and 45 minutes I'm supposed to meet some guys at a bagel shop. So that won't be, give me enough time to do the full route. Doing the full route takes about 2 hours. I don't have that. I need to do the route and then move on and get to those guys. So only do part of the route. I'll probably swap. I got the adventure combo with this thing, so I got 3 batteries. So when I get to the bagel shop, I'll probably swap batteries. So I say you don't repeat the hills. You don't repeat the hills. There are some hills that you do out and back. So you go up the hill and then come back down. You've got one hill coming up, and that one you just go over, but then you take a right, and they call that one Kill Hill. And it's one where right now we're going up it, doing a little loop at the top and coming back down. But we used to go up that one and then go down to this apartment complex that has an entrance that's about 17-18%. But they took they're doing some road construction. They took the entrance out. Last time I was over here, they were building a new entrance, but they haven't built it yet. That was a couple weeks ago, though, so they might have it completed. I probably won't be doing the apartment complex today anyway. Usually when we ride that, it's early in the morning, and it's a main road, and I don't feel comfortable on the main roads in Tulsa without, once the sun comes up. They seem to be, drivers in Tulsa aren't used to cyclists, even though we do have a pretty robust cycling community. We don't ride in the city very much. There's lots of places outside of Tulsa to ride. Morning.
Morning.
That was the first hill. And then coming down at the bottom of it, it's a right turn, and that's Kill Hill. Morning. I watch for sand at the bottom of that hill on that turn. Until they took the entrance out, there were speed bumps because they're doing road construction on Yale, which is where that entrance goes to. But they took them out when they took the entrance out. I guess they were thinking people might try to cut through here to avoid the construction. Looks like they're about finished up with that construction though. Construction is this place called Signal Hill. Say I do like having electronic shifting and having gear indicators on my computer. It means I don't have to look down to see if I'm in the last gear or not. On my light speed, I have mechanical shifting and it's SRAM, so it's got that double tap, and sometimes I'll think I have another gear left and I'll go to shift, but since I'm in the last gear, all it does is let me do the single tap, which actually puts it in the harder gear. Doing that in the middle of the hill, that can be hard. To the top. Well, not the top, but where it levels off a little bit. It goes from about half as steep. That's the new entrance. Looks like it's open now. So So might go do that apartment complex at some point. Here's the old entrance. I don't know why they took out one entrance and put in another one. That seems a little weird. Sometimes I'll turn right here, but I want to move on, make sure I get to some hills that I want to be sure to do while I have the time. This is Kill Hill again. You gotta be careful coming down it, because there's a sharp turn right at the end. Alright, so taking it right here, and it looks like they took out the speed bumps on this section too. They hadn't done that last time I was on this route. Alright. Sometimes I'll take a left here and get back on the bike path, because with crossing, 81st Street, you got more visibility where the bike path crosses. But this early in the morning, I think we'll be fine going straight, because it does add a little bit of time to go to the bike path and then come back to this street to hit some more hills. Anyway, I try to get about 9,000 to 10,000 feet a week, and it's Saturday, so I need to, and I have about 5,200 today, so I need, or as of today, this morning, so I need to get about 1,900 today and 1,900 tomorrow, which should be able to do that. If I don't get it by the time I'm done with the group I'm joining up with today, I can go out tomorrow and do it tomorrow. So this is Urbana Hill. You come from the right if you do that apartment complex I was talking about. Urbana Hill's more gradual till the very end. Then it gets a little bit steeper. ago, my bike was squeaking every time I'd go up a hill. If it got more than like 5%, just squeak, squeak, squeak. And I was like, okay, well, I haven't changed the chain in a while, or the cassette ever. So I got a new cassette and new chain. And the chain was wore out for sure. The cassette might have been okay, but I don't know. I figured it was time to replace the cassette anyway. And that didn't take care of it. So I took it to the shop and said, hey, what's going on? I can't figure this out. Turns out I just hadn't torqued the rear wheel down enough. Simple fix. Not usual. Last time I'd had a bike squeaking like that, I had worn out the chain ring and putting down power. Putting down the power had made the chain shift on the chain ring or something. At least I assume that's what happened. So this road is a little rough, but has the steepest hill, or the steepest section. It's not really the steepest hill, but the steepest section of the whole route. Tops out of about 20, well, more than 20, about 25%, I think. 24, 25. Ooh. Yeah, I'll be glad when I get that mount from the bike shop. It's going to be much better than this, I hope. I can't get this one. I've got it tightened down as far as it'll go, and it still won't stay in place. So yeah, this hill, the top of it has a section that sometimes my computer reads, it always reads more than 20, but sometimes it reads about 25%, sometimes it doesn't. You know, your bike computer doesn't read the same numbers all the time. At least mine doesn't. Reading 11% right now. Right there when that corner is. Gets so steep sometimes my front wheel starts popping up a little bit. When that happens, I usually climb into the drops. It helps a little bit to keep that from happening. this part of the neighborhood was a little bit rougher. Once I finish that loop and turn right, it's got a couple rough spots, but the road overall is nicer. Using it. The screen keeps going up. I assume it's still recording. It's got a red flashing R on it. It's usually the recording symbol is like a circle, but I assume that red bar means it's recording. Take a right and go on into another section. Couple rough spots on this road, then once you turn it's pretty smooth after that. Morning. That should be it. I won't have to hold the camera in place anymore, maybe, hopefully. So, and then right here, the guy was kind, waiting for me, even though I had a stop sign. Didn't know I was turning right, of course. Probably, that was a bike route through the city. Probably going straight. Probably thought I was going to go straight because who would want to do a hill, you know? even if it is picking me up. Once I get with the guys, I'll just record. But if you're familiar with Tulsa, specifically familiar with Tulsa Tough, the usual route these guys do goes up Crybaby Hill, which is iconic because of Tulsa Tough. Although last week they didn't do that. I haven't ridden with him in maybe a month and a half now. Just conflicting schedules and stuff. So far I have been on the route, but once I get down here, I'm probably just gonna move on and try to get over to the bagel shop. Got about 30-45 minutes, and I could probably do it. And that's probably more than enough time, but I don't like to cut it close. But normally when we're doing this route, you'll see me coming to a stop sign here in a minute. We'll take a left and then an immediate right and go to Sleepy Hollow is the name of that hill. Well, that's the name of the road it's on. And then, I don't know, I just realized we're not going to see Golf Ball Hill today. Not on this ride. I'll show it to you another time though. But, you got to be more time conscious. So, and this is back on the bike route through the neighborhoods. I don't know if other places do bike routes or not, but Tulsa does. And they, morning. So the bike routes cut through neighborhoods. There's a few places where they have bike lanes, mostly in the more towards downtown area. There's not many bike lanes that aren't downtown or close to downtown. There are a lot of trails though. Jogging and riding trails that are nice. You can almost go all the way around the city without ever getting on a street. But we're road cyclists, so we're not trail cyclists. Now, the first time I don't know, the bike route, I think the first time I saw it was around 1990. I didn't know what that was. I was just a little kid then. Thought it was weird. I mean, I said I don't know what it was. I mean, I could figure it out. I just thought it was weird to have a specific bike route. Morning. Now that I do it, though, I don't like riding on, like I said, I don't like riding on Tulsa streets. Some people have no problem with it, and there's some streets that are, not that big of an issue. I say, take the bike route. It'll let you see stuff that you don't see all the time, and it's more relaxing, at least to me. Of course, I go off the bike route sometimes too. If I know, a way that seems a little bit better to me. A lot of people out today. It's been hot. So it makes sense to do everything in the morning. I always ride in the morning, though. I always ride in the morning. Sometimes I'll ride in the evenings, too. Haven't this week, though. Except for once. Yeah, so like if Tulsa had bike lanes all over the place, or had bike lanes, anywhere but downtown, I might consider riding on the streets more, but just don't. Bike lanes are only, there's going downtown that have bike lanes, but most of the roads don't. You're sitting there and people don't know you're there. They're not used to seeing cyclists. Because of our trails, I think most cyclists stick to the trails or head, to outlying towns instead of riding in Tulsa. There's a few places, few streets in Tulsa that are places right on like Mohawk Boulevard. Get a big enough group, you might see people on Riverside, which is actually got a trail running along it. Morning.
Good morning.
But you get a big enough group of cyclists, say 10 or more, and you're really causing more danger on being on the trail with that group than if you are on the road. So a lot of groups, once they start getting that size, they'll ride on the street even though there's a perfectly good trail. Anyway, so I got this camera. This is the Osmo Action 4 because I'd seen another guy on YouTube do some night rides and it did pretty good. But he was in an urban area, so had street lights and stuff. I ride at 5:17 every weekday morning, and right now this time of the year, sun comes up early enough that most of the ride is in daylight, or I don't know, whatever the opposite of dusk is. It's not quite daylight, but it starts in the dark. As we get around to the, I don't know, say September or so, probably starts being dark a lot longer, and just stays dark the whole ride throughout the winter. And we're not in the city, so there's no street lights, just my headlights. I'm curious to see how this camera does with that. But if it doesn't do too well, I might just do my daylight rides on the camera and then not record the early morning rides. Or I might just, if it does well, I might record every ride. That'd be a lot of rides though. And the rides aren't, I forget which word it is. I'm going to look. See, I think this is right. The rides, we do the same routes we do different routes every day, but the same routes every week. So they kind of will get boring, especially since I won't be talking. So you'll just see a bunch of guys doing the same ride that they've always done. When I'm by myself, I feel more free to, just talk about whatever's on my mind. It'd feel kind of weird to do that in a group, I think. Morning. Pull my map up on my computer. Didn't plan this route, so I'm just kind of going off of memory. Not quite sure. Don't ride this through this neighborhood quite as much as the earlier neighborhood. So, I don't know, I think this is where I turned now. Yeah, there's the sign. Or the marking on the street. One thing I noticed, at least on the trail, some of the bike lane guys, you know, they kind of do a stylized thing like you do for bathrooms or restrooms. They do a stylized guy on a bicycle. Some of them have little tiny helmets on, which is kind of cute. I'm gonna blow through that stop sign. I probably should have turned left back there. Give me a straight shot across Harvard. But, oh well. It's weird to me if you have a bike route. You cross the street, have it take you to a place where there is no thing. I might just take Harvard over to the north of me, which I'm going to be heading north eventually, is I-44, and there's not many places to cross I-44 other than streets. I think there's one or two, so I might just go ahead and go on up Harvard, get across I-44 here, since I'm always here anyway. Doesn't look too busy, so let's do it. Is my alarm telling me there's a car coming up from behind. A friend showed me this website called Wanderer Earth. I don't know, maybe a month ago. So signed up, didn't pay for it. Is like what they provide. I don't know. I don't think I'd care enough about it if I were to pay for it. But what they provide is like stats of how many roads you've ridden on compared to how many roads are in an area. So they have it like they have it by city, county, state, country, and entire Earth. I think at least here in the US, that's how they have it broke down. And so I try to get at least a few miles in that are new to Wanderer Earth. Like I've ridden this road before, but not since I signed up for Wanderer Earth. So this will count as a new road once I upload it to Strava. Actually, none of what I've done so far today is something I've done since I signed up for Wanderer Earth. So all of it will count for new. once we join the group, and they stick mostly to the trail, so it's all stuff I've done. That is if they don't do the route they did last week, which I think I've probably done all of that as well. Whew. I think I'll take a left here at 41st Street. I don't think I've ever ridden on 41st Street, even before Wandsworth. So, that'll be fun. I like doing new roads. It's not too busy today, so I feel a little bit safer. You know, I got hit a little over a year ago. Letting me over, which is weird. He's in a car, but kind of him. That guy right there. I don't know if you can see it. Still in the small chain ring from doing those hills. So I was spinning out. And there's Edison High School. There's this guy, works as a janitor there. He knew me, went to church with him as a kid. Didn't see him for like 25 years. Saw him again in my 30s, and he remembered me. I was impressed, because I don't think I was that memorable of a kid, really. We used to both, so my parents and I, and this guy, would helped out with the bus ministry. That church had probably 15, 20 buses. They would pick up kids, take them to church. Honestly though, the bus ministry was kind of messed up, because when I first got involved in it, I was probably 6 or 7. When we first got involved in it, bus kids would go to go to Sunday school, just like the car kids, because that's what you were. You're either a bus kid or a car kid. But then, I don't know, maybe a year after we started working with it, they decided that the bus kids were too disruptive. And so they segregated the bus kids, which was really messed up because the car kids were mostly white, and of course the bus kids were mostly not white. And they ended up renting a school that was like a block away from the church for Sundays, and the bus kids got to all go to the school and have Sunday school there, and the car kids stayed at the actual church building. I thought that, as a first grader, I thought that was really messed up. I didn't understand what it was, and now being an adult, I think the official reason was because the bus kids were too rowdy and disruptive. And there was a couple of them that were disruptive. For the most part, they weren't. But as an adult, I think, maybe there was a little bit of prejudice there as well. Because, like I said, most of the bus kids weren't disruptive. Just, there were a few that were. But if you're a church and your goal is to reach kids, segregating them, things like, it seems like maybe the wrong way to go about it. I'm just saying. See it. That is Channel 2. The place we're going is just before that. In fact, we usually lean our bikes up against the Channel 2 building. And let's see what time it is. 7:40, so a little bit early. If no one's there, I might spin up through the neighborhood a little bit. Keep my legs warm. And get another, I don't know, couple hundred feet maybe. There goes the cyclist. Now it looks like no one's here yet. stress drop as much. Morning. Morning. A friend of mine named John lives in this neighborhood. He usually rides with this group. Oh, there's a tree down. Look at that. Anyway, he usually rides with this group, but told me today he's got some health issues going on. That's sad. Pretty serious is what it sounds like. I don't know much about health issues, but the ones he has sound pretty serious. Certainly enough to keep him from riding very much. And now we just coast back. whole time. Morning. Be able to keep any kind of running monologue going, because I'm not a monologue kind of guy. And I know I haven't talked the whole time, but I feel like I've done pretty good, especially for the very first time. Mostly kept it on what I was doing in the moment. I wasn't even sure what I would talk about. Usually, when I'm riding by myself, I think about lots of stuff. You know, it's time to contemplate things that I don't sit and contemplate when I'm doing things that require lots of bumps, require more concentration. And I thought, well, okay, I'll just, talk about whatever's on my mind. But this time I was more, what was on my mind was, hey, I'm introducing people to this route. I should talk about the route. Probably won't do that next time because I've already introduced you to the route. But I think that was probably the right choice today. As if the audio is being picked up, like I said, I don't know. If it's not, I'm just talking to myself. Alright, let's see, what are we doing on time? 7:50. Perfect. Time to swap the battery, which looked like it was getting a little low. Flip the camera over and be ready to ride with the guys. And I think my video editing software will be able to stitch all these together and make a single video out of it. Never done a whole lot of video editing.